Hey there.
Hi, how
Hello,
are you?
hello.
I'm doing great. I'm so excited that you could join us. And what's really exciting is that both of you are going to be a part of Andrew You're Strong, and in particular, Married to Power, which is the new forum that we're introducing to Andrew You're Strong Summit. And that is
Hmm.
happening the 12th to the 14th of December. And we want those
Yes.
of you that are viewing this and you have not registered to go now and register. It's easy www.endyourstrong.com. And again, if you want to go directly on cindytrimministry.com, you can, but endyourstrong.com will get you registered and there's still space. We want you to be there. This year, we're introducing a new forum, and I'm bringing all of my married couples together, and we're going to have a talk face to face. It's going to be like a fireside chat, and we're going to be talking about marriage is under great attack. So as you're aware,
Severely.
the traditional marriage is being redefined by society,
Yes.
and people really want tools, they want strategies, they want help, they want hope for their marriages. And I said, what better people to begin to talk about that needed subject than people that have been married for a long time. So, how many years have you been married? And by the way, these are my two friends, Bishop Herman and Pastor Herman. They're from North Carolina. North Carolina. They have a thriving church, but one of the things that is so I think impactful about the relationship is not just what they're doing with the church and what they're doing in the business world, but how long they've been married. And they do have a thriving, growing, successful marriage. And this is why I brought them on. And I always have a joke. All my friends, my closest friends, are married, and I always was the third wig. I was the only single, and nobody noticed it. I mean, they knew I was single, but with all my friends, I was the only single one. And now, I'm happy to say that I'm married. So, how many years have you been married?
We've been married since 1978. So let's do the math. How many years is that?
40, 41?
41,
41 years.
41.
Wow, that's
41 years.
that
Four
is,
decades.
yep, that's a
4 decades.
lot of that's a lot of years. So look, for you, what has been your secret to a successful marriage?
Wow. Rosa?
First thing I would say is that number one, marry someone that you think you can live the rest of your life with.
Mm,
That would be number one. Number two, marry someone that you can be very honest with and be yourself.
mm-hmm.
I think that's one of the fallacies that we get into marriage is that we put this false pretense out, and then when we finally get married, they say, "Guess who you married?" And you have to be friends. You have to be friends because you're going to have some challenges in marriage because marriage itself brings sets of challenges. So when you have a friend, you can talk about that. You can say, "This bothers me," or "I don't like when you say this or do that," and being able to communicate that without having such a augmented assignment behind it, but
Mm-hmm.
knowing that I'm standing in love to make you look good. And I think the number one key for us is helping each other bring out their final qualities that they can be a successful person in this world.
Absolutely. I couldn't confirm more. I think if I had to minimize it to just one word for the sake of time, I think the glue is communication.
Mm-hmm.
Communication, I view it as the bridge that gets you from where you are to where you want to be. So, what you want to do is you always want to maintain that. Sometimes you have to go back and check it because there may be some cracks, and you need to do some things to keep that line of communication open. So, no matter what
Mm-hmm.
challenges you face,
Mm-hmm.
you'll be able to communicate and work through it.
Yes, that's really, really true. Communication.
Yeah.
Being a couple, and you are a power couple. The whole topic this year is married to power. And
Yes.
we didn't want to steer the conversation anyway. We wanted to be as organic as possible. But for you, what did you look for in a wife and a woman? That's a two-part question.
Wow, wow.
I
Well,
want to hear this.
okay, well, let me just say we we got together in what I call my BC days. That
Yes.
was before Christ. So my scale was a little bit different, okay?
Very much.
But I knew I always wanted someone, number one, that I could be a friend to,
Mhm.
you know. My criteria was more on the natural side than it was on the spiritual side. So I wanted someone that was beautiful, someone that I could talk to, someone that I could have fun with. And God so blessed me and gave me a beautiful package that contained everything that I wanted in it. So I consider myself highly favored and blessed.
Mhm.
That's what I was looking. And then in, like I said, my BC days, somebody that you can enjoy being in their
Yes.
company.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Pastor Rosa, what did you look for, or what should a woman look for in a husband and in a man?
I think number one, a woman should look for someone that will respect her
Mm-hmm.
and honor her and love
Mm-hmm.
her.
Mm-hmm.
Those to me are the three most important things that most women are looking for. Because you can marry someone poor, and most women today have jobs, so you don't have to marry for job security or
Mm-hmm.
for you to take care of me because I can take care of myself
Right.
financially.
Mm-hmm.
So what I need from you is what money can't do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's to honor me and to love me and to respect me as
Mm-hmm.
your woman. And
Mm-hmm.
that's honoring me whether I have my makeup on or makeup off, or whether as I get older and I'm not as shapely as I used to be, can you still love me?
But you still, but
Mm-hmm.
you're as shapely now. If I can interject,
Well, I'm still
you,
sexy. I
you're,
know that.
and a confident woman. You always want a confident woman.
And knowing, I think portraying to that man who you really are. And you can't portray who you are if you don't know who you are. And at
Mm-hmm.
that age when we met, I knew who I was at that stage and I knew where I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I felt strongly that my husband was such a gentleman when I met him. He was opening the door and making sure that I didn't have to pump gas or go
Mm-hmm.
out in the rain. He was always covering me and letting me
Mm-hmm.
know. And even when we got married, I didn't have to wash his clothes or
Mm-hmm.
cook for him. I cooked for him because I wanted to, not because I had to. And
Mm-hmm.
so it wasn't those demands that I want you to be a wife that's going to cook every day for me. That was not my desire as a wife because I had gifts as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I look for. I knew who I was as a woman, and I wanted someone to enjoy that part of my journey of life with me.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
Evie was the one that I fell in love with. And then, secondly, the other thing is that I didn't want to marry a pastor because I was raised up. God has such a sense of humor. I didn't want to marry anyone who was a pastor because I grew up in a small church, and the thing that they did was that they gossip about the pastor and the pastor's wife and the pastor's kids, and they want the pastor to be poor. And I was like, well, I'm from a poor family. God knows I don't want to live in poverty the rest of my life. And I saw church from that perspective. So I said, I would marry someone that was going to be successful in the world, where we both could have enough finances that we could enjoy life and not
Mm-hmm.
living from check to check. And
Mm-hmm.
so we married each other. We both were backslidden. I was a backslidden Christian. He was a backslidden Muslim. And so we collided our lives together. And God found us on our journey
Mm-hmm.
of us not wanting to serve him because of what we had seen. And then he made us to be an example and a trophy piece for him to go out and tell everyone that marriage is good, being a Christian is good, and you can be successful and happily married and serving God.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, 41 years, you're listening to 41 years of experience in marriage. And how important is money to marriage?
Wow. Money is important in life. It's a
Mhm.
vehicle that you use in the natural, and money can enhance your marriage. The lack of it can bring some very difficult times, but it's never been our primary objective.
Right.
Money is a tool. And so the more effective your tool is, the more proficient you can be in what you're called to do. So that's the way we see money. And one of the things I've always loved about my wife is that money was important, but it wasn't primary. In other words, when we had a little bit, we found joy and peace. And now that we have a little bit more, we have more joy and more
More peace.
peace.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's
Yeah,
good. That's good.
yeah,
So you have to
Um,
respect money in a relationship
yes.
because if not, that money can become your enemy in that relationship.
Yeah.
And so that's something that we learned early in our life, and that was we were going to respect the amount of money that we had, and regardless of how much we got, we were not going to let money govern us. That money is a tool, money is a servant to us.
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
so that's how we looked
How
at it in
have
our
you, I mean,
relationship.
in 41, in 40, 41 years, how have you changed as a man and how have you changed as a woman?
Whew. Dr. Trimm Tomlinson, what a question. Okay, how have I changed? I would want to think that I've changed for the better.
From a
Uh,
little boy to a
yeah,
man.
see, I've learned to listen and follow the lead. What I've found out is that um, money doesn't make the man.
Hmm.
Money reveals who you really are.
Absolutely.
So how I changed was as I submitted myself to the word of God and it got inside of my life and began to transform me and develop me into who I am right now. I think that was the greatest point of transformation in my life. And then to have a wife that complements that and willing to adjust to the various, live life on stages and get there at different levels. So to be able to celebrate the promotion as it comes, or maybe the time when the promotion did not come, to have an understanding spouse made a tremendous difference.
Mm,
Tremendous difference in life.
mm, mm.
And I give her more than ample opportunities to walk in forgiveness, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think he used the last one though. I think he used the last one the other day.
Yeah. So yeah, and as I said, communication, and then forgiveness, and some of the things that Rosa talked about, trust and honesty. All of those things are
Mhm.
components that make a growing and healthy marriage. And I don't subscribe to the fact that you ever arrive when it comes to marriage. I think we're constantly growing, constantly evolving,
Mhm.
constantly exploring and discovering. There's so much yet to discover about this woman after four decades. There's still more inside of her that I haven't tapped into yet. And I'm excited to go to the deep well.
Is it true, and Pastor Rosa, I'm going to come back to you with the same question, but is it
Okay.
true that men really need adventure in a marriage?
Men really need, pardon?
Adventure.
And
Adventure?
adventure.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Men like excitement. Men like something adventurous. And what we've seen as we've talked to many couples over the years, one of the things that have led to the stagnation and
Mhm.
unfortunately even the demise is that the wife or the husband has taken the excitement, has taken the adventure out of it. It's become day. Today is Wednesday, so I know it's spaghetti. Today's Thursday, so I know it's meatloaf. I know she's going to have the blue dress on. I know she's going to have the yellow dress on, or whatever it is. But you want to be exciting. You want to be vibrant. You want to keep him guessing. That's
Mm,
that's what that's what I love about her. She keeps me guessing.
Well, he never know what
yes.
I'm gonna look like from day to day. I might have short hair today, long hair next week. So which girl do you want? I'm
Yeah,
available.
yeah,
Oh,
And
yes.
just just keeping the excitement in your marriage, and because you're forever evolving. What I used to like when I was 23 and 24, I don't like at the age that I am today, because
Mm-hmm.
that was exciting for me then. Is because I'm more mature. That
right.
doesn't
Mm-hmm.
excite me anymore. And always, I believe what Bishop and I work hard on is studying each other. We study. I watch his patterns. I like what I want to know what he like and what he doesn't like.
Absolutely.
And knowing that I was once a mother, having babies, and we're waking up in the middle of the night. Now that can keep, if you can live through having babies and waking up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the night and say, I'm not getting the baby this time, you get the baby. You hear the baby cry? No, I don't hear the baby crying. You know, if you can live through that stage and then live through taking them to school and picking them up and doing homework, and they're lying, so they did their homework and they didn't do their homework, and you're trying to figure out when you're going to have your intimacy with your spouse again.
Mm-hmm.
Those to me are some of the most trying times, a decade of that
Yeah.
that you go through, and then you go through the decade of the teen years, and then you get to the fun part of where your house, you have an empty nest. That to me is where you begin to uh, redefine who you really are in your marriage. for college tuition, daycare bills, Pampers, who gonna watch the kids. Now it's just us. And what happens in so many relationships is that they get so involved into raising their children that they forget they have a spouse.
Absolutely.
And so you want to keep that excitement. You have to have date nights. And that's something that we still work on today, is that we have date nights. And this way we're going to go to a movie, or we're going to go out to eat, or we're going to go somewhere where we're getting out of the environment that we are so familiar with, which is sometimes our home or out with someone else, just he and I alone, just letting them know that, hey, I still love you, and we're getting older, but I still love you, and I want to spend the rest of my life with you and enjoy life.
Absolutely.
I don't want to be my age and having arguments.
Yeah.
That's not,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
want to enjoy each other. This is, this is the season of enjoyment when you don't have the kids and when you don't have to take care of anybody. We just loving on each other at this stage and communicating. And,
Okay, that's really really good. I want you to compare two stages.
Okay.
Were you aware the first couple of years in your marriage, and where you are now? And from that context, I want to ask a question. What did love look like then and feel like? Look like and feel like then, and compare it to what love looks like and feel like now.
Wow.
wow.
Well, let me say this. Love, wow.
I'm so glad you asked that question.
I am glad you asked that question. Love means so much more to me now than it did 20, 30 years ago. As important as it was then,
Mhm.
but the significance and the essence has really changed, because I love her not for what she can do, but for who she is
Mhm.
and what emanates out of Rosa more and more. All of the other attributes, the physical part of it, that's still there. We enjoy that, but I love the person behind the body. In other words, we know scripturally, we're tripart beings. We are a spirit, we have a soul, and we live in the body. The body will change over a period of time. We do everything we can to tuck tight, do whatever we got to do to keep everything right, and that's beautiful. And you need to work on that, because I tell women all the time, men are primarily moved by sight.
Mhm.
Women
Yeah.
are primarily moved by words, but men are moved by sight. So you want to keep yourself attractive. But at the end of the day, if something shifts or something changes, it's what's internal.
Mhm.
So love to me now emanates from the inside out. But again, like I said initially, I love it when it comes in a beautiful package.
Uh,
So you can see he's moved by his flesh, and which is really good, because the thing that I love about Bishop now is far greater than what it was when I was dating him. We both were young when we got married, and so I was married because I wanted someone to love me for who I was, and meeting my needs, and loving him enough that I would overlook his weaknesses, some of his character flaws that he had at that age. And am I willing?
I had some characters.
You had a whole bunch.
Okay, all right,
We
okay,
don't want to get into that.
Okay, we're not
But
here to
you
talk
had a
about that.
whole bunch,
Okay.
at the point that I was like, did I marry the right person? And then, we would make up and I said, oh, yes, I did. Oh, yes, I did. There's a saying that says love is blind.
Mm.
You
uh-huh.
see some areas in your boyfriend's life and you go, well, I can work with that.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you get married, that's when the veil are removed from your eyes and you go, oh my
Mhm.
God, this is what I have.
Yeah.
And then love helped you to walk through that. And so I have evolved from that little girl of goosebumps to the man that I see that he is now, that I've seen him go through different trials and tests and obstacles in his life, that has helped me to define who he is as a man, that I'm loving him more than just the fleshly side, but loving his inside, his mind, his soul,
Yeah. Yeah.
his
Mm.
body.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I like the most, is how he has evolved through all the different stages in his life and still standing, that he still give me goosebumps. Like he was away for 7 days
Mm-hmm.
and he went away to do some fasting and praying for us. And when he came back, I felt the little goosebumps, like, oh, I'm so glad he's home. And I was like, I'm still.
You felt goosebumps? I felt more than goosebumps.
What did you feel?
No. We're on public media.
That's
We
okay.
can't.
Somebody-
No, we can't say that. We can't say that.
But as you can see, we still get those feelings for each other. And you know what? The good thing is that nobody's in our house right now. It's just Bishop and I. And so
Yeah,
we can do whatever we want to do in our house.
Yeah.
I don't have to
yeah,
be concerned about anybody who is in there knocking on the door, any of that. So we get to enjoy each other to its fullest. And what I want to do is get the best out of this man while I'm married to him.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't want him to, I don't want to withhold him from anything that God has for him. And so I want
Yeah.
to get the best out of him. I want to squeeze all of the juice out of him that I can get the benefits of being a married woman. And then he does that. We do the same thing for each other. We're constantly pushing each other that, come on, you can do better than this. You know, that was not good. Or even when he preaches or he's doing something, I say, you know, you really could have done better. And so I'm his biggest cheerleader, yet I'm the person that's going to tell him the truth when everybody else is building him up. And
I
that's
like that,
what I think.
holding him, and holding her accountable for
Accountable.
being the
Right,
best version, which,
Hmm.
which,
right,
which is different from nitpicking and being
right,
critical. You know,
right.
you are listening to Bishop and Lady Herman from North Carolina. They're my personal friends, and
Yes.
we're all getting together. We're doing something for End Your Year Strong called Married to Power, and
Yes.
we want you to be there. We're going to talk about the how to. We're going to actually drill down into some sensitive areas
Hmm.
that needs to be brought to the fore. Um, and what we're doing right now is just having a conversation, inviting you to be a part of that conversation. But if you want to get more, those of you that want to be married, and you're single, you need to be a part of this. Those of you that are married, and even those of you that are on the verge of divorce or have divorced, I think
Hmm.
relationship is should be front and center stage in any conversation, because you know some of our greatest joys are born as a result of relationship, and some of our greatest pains, some of our greatest
Yes.
highs, and some of our greatest lows. But you cannot get more intimate in a relationship than with a husband and wife. And we want you guys to be a part of it. We're inviting you, and you're strong. WWW, and that's my phone. but we want you to be a part of it. We want to be as real as we possibly can. And, you know, the whole thing is hashtag God without gimmicks. So all of us are
Mm,
Christians. We're all believers. And Christianity for all of us is our life strategy. It's
Right.
not a religious experience. And people just want to know,
right.
look, how has God made a difference in your marriage? I mean, is there a difference between those that are say don't have God or are not Christians, and is there a difference with someone that has God at the center of their personal lives and in the center of their marriage? Is there a difference?
I absolutely
Hmm.
think that there is, because you can reach the apex of humanity. In other words, I've done everything I know to do. I've
Hmm.
said everything I know to say. In fact, there's nothing left. And that's when you can draw upon the greater one that's in you, that gives you that added momentum, that added impetus to keep on going. For example, I mentioned the word forgiveness. Okay, you can forgive naturally, but then you reach a place where you say,
Right.
I'm tired of it. But then you can call on the greater one, and his forgiveness so far exceeds everything else that you and I and our greatest intelligence could ever manufacture. So, yes, Jesus is the glue that keeps us together.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
And I'm in total agreement with that because, see, when we got married, whether we were saved or not, it was a covenant with whether we were born again or saved or not. God was present. It was three people that was there, not counting the pastor or the person that married you, and that was you, your spouse, and God, because it's a covenant that we got involved in with heaven.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I believe that's what has kept our marriage together. Is that
Mm-hmm.
when some of those hard times came, we had to go to God and say, God, this man or this woman, help us to resolve this issue,
Yes.
because you can become very selfish in your relationship. That you say, well, I said I was sorry the last time. It's your time to say you apologize, and I'm not going to apologize anymore. And that's when you have to go to God and ask God to help you, because it's just the nature of us as humans to not want to forgive all the time. and no
Yeah,
one's,
that's true.
it's just the
Yeah.
nature of us. So what we had to go to God and help for him to help. He wasn't too good on asking for forgiveness.
Hmm.
And so we had to work, that's the truth, right?
Absolutely. This is what keeps it together. Absolutely.
And then you're married, not only you marry that person, but you're marrying the culture of that person as well. And so his
Yep.
culture and my culture was entirely different. And so we had to figure out how could we make this thing work, because I wanted things this way because it's how I was raised and he wanted it that way. And then we had to come up with our own tradition and our
Yeah.
own ways
Yeah.
of how we wanted our marriage to be and how our family to be. Probably not the way our parents did it, but how we wanted it to be for us.
Right.
Yeah, the
Exactly.
uniqueness of your relationship. I think a lot of people are looking for one size fit all, but
No.
the whole idea of cultures and
Hmm.
capacity and communication, these are all contributing factors.
Yes.
So when people are saying, my marriage is not working, and I need help with my marriage, a lot of times they're thinking of one unit when you've got
Right.
all these different types of components. And that's one of the things that we're going to be talking about.
Right.
At You're Strong, the components of marriage. And those of you that haven't registered, you could register now. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be live, it's going to be real, and it's going to be hashtag God without gimmicks. So I'm looking forward to
Amen.
that.
I like that.
Yes.
Now, so I have a lot of balloons to float for those that will be coming to talk about married to power, because a lot of times we think of women married to powerful man. But what
Hmm.
about man married to powerful women? And I'm going to
Yeah.
float that as a balloon because we are going to talk about that. And we are going to talk about how to have a powerful marriage and how to
Yes.
have a powerful relationship. We are going to talk about, God being the center. There's so much that we're going to talk about. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fantastic. And this will be the very, very first time during,
Mm.
or second time during Andrew You're Strong that I will be married. So this is my
Yes.
second go around. Um,
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thanks so much. And it's unique for me. I'm bringing something fresh to the table.
Yes.
What I bring to the table is being single and
Single for
celibate.
yes.
Hmm.
For the first part of my life, and then marrying at the second half of my life, being a more
Hmm.
mature woman. What does that look like?
Right.
And the challenges, and should women and in their mature life hope to get married? And I want to be able to say, just don't give up. For every
Right.
woman there's a
Right.
man, for every man there's a woman. And the packaging might change. What
Hmm.
you want may be different than what from what God actually brings to you. And what he
Right.
Right.
brings to you is far superior than what you could ever want. The Bible clearly states that God is not in the business of meeting your need. He's in the business of exceeding it. He's able
Yes.
to do the exceeding
Ephesians
abundantly.
3 and 20, my favorite scripture.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So those of you that haven't registered, we want you to register. Go register right now. Www. You're Strong. It is December the 12th to the 14th. It's going to be amazing. Travis Green is going to be there for a night
Oh
of
yeah.
Yes.
He's
worship.
Love
excited.
And
his
He's
he's
excited.
ministry.
dropping, I'm excited about it because he's dropping his new project. He's
Oh,
dropping it. And I think this is going to be the first concert that he'll be doing from after dropping the new project. So we're
wow. That's gonna be
really
exciting.
That's
excited.
exciting.
We get to hear the new, and we get to hear the old. So we're excited about that. Open heaven is the theme. How to have an open heaven in your over your marriage. We're going to be talking about that, being married to power. But this is my favorite part of the interview. It's rapid fire questions. So you're going to
Okay.
answer them in rapid fashion because I'm going to ask them very, very quickly. So Bishop, I'll go with you first. What's your favorite color?
Okay.
Favorite color.
Brown.
And what is your favorite country to visit outside the United States of America?
Ghana.
And your favorite city outside of the city you live in?
New York City.
New York City. All right. And what is your favorite cuisine?
Wow. I have a real propensity. I love good Italian food. I love good
Hmm.
Italian food. Yes.
Okay. Favorite restaurant in the whole world?
Ooh.
Ooh, now that's a real. I mean, it's quick. Time. Um, there was a place in London. I can't remember the exact title of the restaurant, but it'll come to me. That was fine cuisine. It was in
Was it
London.
the one that we went to, or you went
You,
to by yourself?
no, the one that you told us about when they give you the platter.
Not
That
the
that
one.
one.
Not the meal we had at Harrods. The restaurant we were at that evening.
Okay, yes, it was. Yeah, I know which one.
Yeah, that one.
It's an
That one.
Asian fusion restaurant. Is Park
Yes.
Chinois.
The-
Park Chinois.
that
Oh
was it.
my, that's my answer too.
That was fabulous.
Park Chinois.
Yes,
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yes. Okay. So, rapid fire question. Um, if you had one biblical character that, if it was possible for you to spend a day and ask questions, um, who would that character be, and what kind of questions would you ask?
That person for me, I'm doing the interview with that person right now. I'm living my dream right now. It would
Well,
be
thank
with
you
the
so much.
Honorable Dr. Cindy Trimm Thomason.
Oh, that's really nice.
That's real,
Um,
honestly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me ask you another question. Historical figure, favorite historical figure you could spend a day with asking question. Who would that person be?
That person is deceased, but if that person was alive, it would be Madiba, better known as Nelson Mandela. I would love to
Mm,
spend the day just, as we say, picking his brains or just listening.
yeah. What fascinates you about him?
His courage, his strength, his fortitude. When I had the privilege of going to Robbins Island and physically seeing where he was for those 27 plus years in the prison incarceration, and then to see the man that came out of there, he probably tops my list. Well,
One.
there's no probably about it. He would be number one on my list naturally.
Mm.
That's so good. Favorite book of the Bible?
Proverbs.
Favorite book
Oh, as a
outside of the
man
Bible?
thinketh,
As a man.
as a man thinketh.
Fabulous, fabulous. All right, doctor, you're up next. Favorite
Okay,
color? Favorite color?
pink, pink.
Favorite color pink. Very
Yeah,
girly.
yes.
Um,
Well, also because
favorite. Go
I
ahead.
went through the cancer thing, so pink. It used to be
Oh,
red, but I
wonderful.
changed it over to pink.
Oh, that's wonderful. She
Yeah.
is a survivor,
Yes.
overcomer.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Favorite book of the Bible?
I would have to say Esther.
Favorite character of the Bible?
Of the Bible, I would have to say Hannah.
Hannah, Hannah. If you could ask Hannah one question, what would that be?
How were you able to continuously take the abuse of another woman that led you to a place of prayer? And that to the
Mm,
point that you would not stop praying until God answered your prayer.
mm. That's
Wow.
really brilliant. That's brilliant. Let's ask you, if you had one historical figure, personality, if it was possible that they came, were
Mm.
to give you one day of just
Mm.
talking and asking questions, who would that character be?
Harriet Tubman.
One contemporary one.
Ah, Michelle Obama.
What's one of the questions you ask her?
Her ability, I would ask her, how are you able to stay in the White House and still be yourself, but held yourself together until you got ready to move into your own?
Mm,
Because she didn't make the light shine on her while she was there, but she had the ability to do it.
yeah, got it. Okay,
Mm.
favorite city to visit outside of the one that you're living in?
Hong Kong,
And favorite restaurant?
the one we just discussed.
Park Chinois.
I taste that food. Yeah, I love that food that night.
Yeah, we got to do it again. And then
Yes.
finally for you, your favorite cuisine.
See, oh my goodness, I would have to say, what do you think it is? Because
Well, you've changed your diet over
I've
the
changed
years,
my
so
diet over the years. I'm more of a
Mhm.
vegetarian now.
I think she would just like a good vegetable plate.
Just a good
She loves
vegetable.
good grilled vegetables.
Yeah, because
Mm.
it used to
Yeah.
be shrimp and all that, but because I'm a non-meat eater now,
Yeah.
and so I just do more of the steamed veggies and the sautéed vegetables.
Hmm.
I like when I can saute broccoli and peppers and saute squash all together and put it over a bed of rice.
Oh, nice.
Mm,
I'll have to give you
Yeah.
the most brilliant recipe. My mom is a vegan, so
Okay.
I found some of the most. I've done some of the most brilliant recipes. They're very very simple. They
Mm-hmm.
taste meatish, but
hmm
they're the type of grilled vegetables that will make you want to eat it every day, all day, and they're
Yes.
great for
Yes.
snacking. They taste good, so I'm going to give you some of the
Please
recipes
do.
that I used
Please
to
do.
prepare for my mother. Fabulous stuff, but very simple to
Yeah.
make.
Yeah. Because
Okay, finally,
I can't do tofu or anything like that because it has way too much soy.
yes,
So
yes, yeah. But I'll share it with you. So
please do.
listen, one of my favorite things that I made for her is mushrooms, and to take the
Mm.
portobello mushrooms, the ones that are sliced up nice and big,
Yeah.
to put it in a convection oven at 450.
Okay.
To use just a simple egg better, and a little breadcrumbs. If you don't want
Hmm.
breadcrumbs, you can use almond flour
Okay.
and throw it in the oven. And just when it's crisping out, take it off and put Parmesan cheese on top of it.
mm,
Mm.
And if you're vegetarian or vegan and you don't use the regular Parmesan cheese,
Hmm.
use the vegan Parmesan cheese. Put it on top of that until it gets golden brown, and take it out. It's kind of crispy, and
I
it's the
bet it's
most
good.
delicious. And I throw a little sriracha on top of
Yes.
that.
Oh, I bet
And,
that.
and and unbelievably, it's unbelievable how it tastes. And in fact, my meeting eating family thought, oh, this is just something vegan, and they want me to
mm.
prepare it all the time. And you can
Right.
also do the same thing with red peppers and onions. The onions turn into
Hmm.
something that's sweet. You cut it thick enough, and
Right.
you throw it in your convection oven, and bake it at 450 in the convection, not the regular oven, but the convection
Mm.
oven. And you'll be surprised how it turns out. So
I need that.
I've turned meat eaters, anytime they're with me, can you cook me that? It's fantastic. Unbelievable
I'm looking
fantastic.
forward to it. I'm looking forward.
We,
You're making me ravish sitting here right now, so I'm
why
looking
don't you
forward to
make
it.
that for me tomorrow night?
I'll work on it.
Okay.
I'll work on
Okay,
it.
okay.
Yeah, I'll work on it.
Well, it's been a pleasure hanging out with you guys. And again, these are my friends. We're getting together. Andrew, you're strong. We're doing a forum on Married to Power, and you want to be a part of it. www.andrewyourstrong.com. And this is your personal invitation from me. Well, God bless. It's been fabulous, guys. Looking forward to
Thank
being
you
with
for having
you.
us. We
The
Yes.
privilege and pleasure has been ours. We say thank you.
yes.
And please give our love to my dear friend, Brother Russell. Let him know we're thinking and praying about it. And we look forward to being a part of In Your Year Strong. So register. If you've not done so, register. You don't want to miss this. This is going to be
It's
fantastic.
going to be great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much. God bless. God bless you
Thank
Bless
you.
guys.
you.
Bye
God
bye.
Thank
Hi, this is Dr. Cindy Trimm inviting you to Atlanta, Georgia for And Your Year Strong Empowerment Summit. 3 life-changing days that include a remarkable lineup of world-renowned speakers helping you to strengthen your expertise. Joining me is Les Brown, Dr. Caroline Lee, Bishop Russell Tomlinson, and Pastor Ryan Cole. Get ready for God-breathed worship encounters with Stephen and Lori Ward. And for the first time, we are welcoming Grammy-nominated Travis Green. You will experience culture-shaping leadership discussions. You've got to be there. So get your ticket now at andyouryearstrong.com. I'll see you under an open heaven at And Your Year Strong, a profound leadership experience unlike any other.